Our final panelist is Guillermo Rodriguez-Navarro, who is from Colombia and is the director and I think main worker of the Foundation to protect the...
No, not the director, a senior member.
A senior member of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta.
Okay.
And he has been working there for 35 years. So we look forward to his issues. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I feel very honored to be invited to this event. I want to thank Archer St. Clair Harvey and CHAPS and, well, my moderator, Jessica Brown, that was who contacted me at the first time. And, well, I want to talk about this indigenous cultural landscape because as a little bit different from all of you that are in the World Heritage, yes, this is a group of people that has been since pre-Columbian times, since around the 5th century BC, have been living in this area and have been able to maintain their territory, even all the struggle that Colombia has lived. Okay. The Sierra Nevada of Santa Marta is incredibly contrasting area. Yes, it has an enormous biodiversity and enormous very big endemisms. It's a mountain completely independent from the Andes, and it's a formation different from the Andes. It's a formation that comes later than the Andes. From immemorial times, the indigenous people consider that land their territory. And it's like a pyramid, it's like a triangle that you can see that it has been, this territory has very well limited or has a very straight boundaries, natural boundaries. If you have a look at the map of Colombia, you can find that, well, you have the Sierra Nevada of Santa Marta up here. And, well, here are the Andes chains, and the Sierra Nevada is completely independent from the Andes. So even though this area has lots of interests, yes, one of the big first things that UNESCO had to look was to make it a biosphere reserve back in the 70s because of its outstanding biodiversity, and it has 4 cultural, well, for indigenous groups, yes, all of them descendant from the Tairona, the archaeological group that was there by the arrival of the Spaniards, as well as three indigenous reservations, yes, because there's been indigenous in this area since the arrival of the Spaniards and before. We have 2 national parks or protected areas. We have a forest reserve. And we have 4 important bird areas. This is one of the areas where most of the migrant birds come for the winter to stay there, pass the winter, and it's a very important area for migrating birds, and that's a way that we have got some kind of help to support this area. As well, it has a very important forest reserve. That is one of the first things that appeared in Colombia before national parks. And it has 17 municipalities. There's 17 towns, yes, that have like their backyard is the Sierra Nevada of Santa Marta. And it's seen like that because the people was not interested in that mountain back there. They're more interested in the lowlands around the Sierra Nevada of Santa Marta. It has 3 departments that is like corresponding to states here, yes, that go in the Sierra Nevada, Santa Marta, with their corresponding environmental agencies, yes, and all of them have left this aside, yes. It's like if it didn't exist for any one of those. From the biogeographical point of view, yes, It's like an island, yes, as I showed you in the last photograph. During the Pleistocene, with the floodings, yes, this area kept, yes, with that flood. So you have lots of endemisms in this area. Not only have like 4 or 5 mammals that are endemic of this area, you have lots of amphibians and lots of plants that are endemic to this area. It's something very interesting. It's all surrounded by lowlands, mangroves, desert in the Guajira Peninsula, and, well, the Caribbean coast. And you can find in the Sierra Nevada almost all the biomes of tropical America. So you have like everything condensed in this area, and as well it produces water, 37 watersheds that produce water for more than 2 million inhabitants in the northern Colombian coast. So you can have, well, you have from the snow peaks to the Caribbean, you have only 26 miles. So you can be in the beach looking at the snow peaks at the same time. So it's a very impressive area. Well, although the Sierra Nevada, well, is one of the most important and diverse places in Colombia, well, we have had illegal cultures. We have a collapsing habitat because the connectivity between the forests is drifting away. We have extractive activities. We have the biggest coal mine, open space coal mine in the lowlands and next to the Sierra Nevada of Santa Marta. They're trying to put some kind of tourism. Yes, it's something that indigenous people don't want at all. But like tourism is becoming something very important in the area. And as well, we have a constant colonization or agriculture is starting to agriculture colonization. And that all of that is threatening this ecosystem. Although we still have there 4 indigenous nations, yes, the Cancuamos, the Arhuacos, the Wiwas, and the Kogi, that they believe that this is the heart of the world. Yes, el corazón del mundo, they say. The Kogis, yes, were given the north face, yes. Those are the most traditional and the most preserved of the 4 groups, yes. They are in the area where you find the biggest archaeological ruins. And for all of them, those archaeological ruins are sacred sites. We have more than 300 cities that they call, like the Lost City, that we will have a photograph in a little, that are in this watershed that goes through the Caribbean, from the snow peaks to the Caribbean. We have the Arhuacos that were giving the materials and the stones, they say. Yes, and those are the ones who are in the side of Valledupar, where you don't have the coast. Yes, and this people is the most populated area. It's not so steep as the north face of the Sierra. And we have as well there the Wiwas, that are the people that has really the growers of fruits and vegetables and all that. 5 minutes? No. Anyhow, with these 4 groups, yes, are the most, the groups that are all descendants of the Tairona. Even though they have different languages, they live in different areas, all of them have the same way of thinking and the same kind of offerings and the same kinds of rituals, yes. These territories, well, are divided into greater and lesser districts in which they are as well sacred sites. And these sacred sites are the places where the government is, and they have a way to govern from these sacred sites. The knowledge and for the management of this territory is in those sacred sites, yes? And they think that everything is related with everything, yes? So with what is above, with that is below, and the spiritual and the material things, and the sea and the snow peaks, all of them are, well, interconnected. And, well, this region provides an example of local indigenous communities that can be engaged in sustainable development and protection of the mountain. Even though we have national parks and all this, what really, the people who has really kept this incredible ecosystem has been the indigenous people, and they are the ones who really live in the area and are the real stewards of this area. Here we have a map where we can see, well, the 3 indigenous reservations is the yellow, the, well, orange, and the purple are the official indigenous reservations, and those brown areas are the areas that they are trying to recover. They have made an effort to make like what they call an environmental belt, environmental and cultural belt. So they have been building small villages around their reservations in order to have the mamas or the priests going down and have a place where they can teach, because what the most worry is that the young people with TV, with computers and all that, they're not putting much attention to these elders. So that is something that is worrying the elder people, and they're trying to recover their land. Even though their traditional land is what they call the black line, where it's all, where you can see, oops, what did I do? Oop. It's all around here. You have the names of all the sites, and this is supposed to be their traditional land. And, well, they're coming up here and they're trying to recover, and even though all this area is really being threatened, and they feel that they're being pushed up into the mountain. The management of the Sierra is, well, it has, everything comes from the law of origin, yes? And it's the guiding principle for the traditional government of the area. Yes, all these people are all the time going to sacred places, making their offerings, and that's a way of having a control of what is going on, depending on the places that they visit. Here you have the archaeological ruins of the lost city, yes, and something that is very interesting is how they change from irrigation systems with maize and other completely different way of agriculture into, well, what they have today, starch and plantain and other products, in order to keep the balance, yes, environmentally. These systems reflect a rich and unique agricultural biodiversity within and between species, and also ecosystems and at the landscape level. There's evidence based on ancient Tairona of certain of these systems are linked to important centers of origin and diversity of domesticated plants and animal species, and the conservation of which have a great global value. You find in Sierra Nevada, it's endemic for cacao, for some species of avocado, some species of chili peppers and other other kind of things. Anyhow, even though all this very important ecosystems, they're having abusive extractive activities, yes. They gather together, for example, these are the big pipes they're making there to extract, to build a port to extract coal, yes, even though you have all the people gathering, yes, to the places where they're building these things, well, it hasn't been possible to stop because these are very big companies that really, even though the government is having negotiations with them, and as well we're having the enormous cultivations of biofuel, yes, and well, the extractive coal mines. They are people that think that everything is related with everything, and even that effort to keep the balance of these ecosystems, yes, they find that all these extractive industries and all these things that are going around are really keeping unbalanced spiritually this area. However, this unique example of harmony between man and their environment is liable to vanish, yes, because there's not really any support, even though, well, becoming a World Heritage Natural Site would be something that could help. Yes, they say that, well, they already have something in UNESCO that is the Biosphere Reserve, and they don't find that that has been useful at all. They are very keen on having tourism away, and something that World Heritage shows is that is some way to attract tourism. So even though it's a very important area, and that it's there's much people trying to make it become a World Heritage Site, indigenous people want to keep like away from all this civilization and all this Occidental culture, and well, keep managing their territories, and the only thing they're asking is to recover their traditional lands. Well, this is, thank you very much for your time, and well, this is